'Tis the season to share one of my favorite Christmas treats with you guys. All of our turtles pecanned up. This recipe is a super simple one that I grew up having, and we call them turtles, but Rolo calls them Rolo Pretzel Delights. We're gonna stick with turtles. So like you just saw, this recipe is right on the back of the Rolo package, and it takes 3 ingredients: pretzels, Rolos, and pecan halves. So for the recipe, we need to preheat our oven to 250 degrees. So let's get that started. And I have a large baking sheet here, just with some parchment on top of it. You can use foil. It just makes cleanup so much easier. And for this recipe, you can make as many or as few turtles as you want to. So to start, I just have mini pretzel twists, and I'm just gonna dump some on my cookie sheet. Now these go super fast when you feed them to people, so don't be afraid to make a ton of them. As long as people like caramel and chocolate and that salty sweet combination, these are going to be a big win when you serve them. If you have any broken ones, you can get away with it, but try to use just the whole pretzels. So I'll start with this, and you just want to get them so they're all laying flat and not laying on top of one another. And you need them to lay flat because we're going to put an unwrapped Rolo on top of each pretzel. And this is probably the most tedious part of this recipe, is unwrapping all of the Rolos. Rolo, if you're listening, you gotta get on board with the other Candies and sell some that are all unwrapped. I guess it makes you work for your dessert. So just 1 Rolo for each pretzel. Now that I have unwrapped an unknown number of Rolos, let's clean up our massive pile of foil and we'll see if we have enough Rolos for our pretzels. So you just want to set the Rolo in as close to the center of the pretzel as you can, because we are going to place a pecan half on top of each one once the Rolo gets a little melty in the oven. And so we want equal squishage in all directions. If that's a technical term. Also, do you say pecan or pecan? People from the South might be yelling at me right now. And it's not against the rules to pop a Rolo onto the center of your tongue while you're doing this. That's half the fun of baking. And you don't have to be perfect. I just like to be, or I try to be, but have fun. Oh, let's see, did I get the perfect amount unwrapped? This would be very exciting. Ah, 1 left for me. Nom 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 nom. Okay, now let's look at our recipe again. Very handy that Rolo put it on their package, so props to Rolo. We're going to pop our sheet of pretzels and Rolos in the oven for 3 to 5 minutes until you can see that the Rolos are getting melty. So be careful to keep your Rolos on the pretzels. You don't want them falling off. We're going to start with 3 minutes and see how the Rolos look after 3 minutes. So this is what they look like after about 3 minutes. So you can see they're a little extra glossy. Let's see how easily a pecan half pushes down on top. So just have some pecan halves. Sometimes you'll have the nice whole ones, or sometimes you'll have a broken one. These ones are okay, but if you were to just have like maybe half of one, you don't have to use those, but use as much pecan or as little pecan as you want. Oh yeah, those push down pretty nice. So you can have the pecan go up and down on the pretzel, or side to side on the pretzel. I like when they go up and down. If you don't like pecans, you can always use M&Ms. M&Ms are a very common replacement that I've seen during Christmas time. And you can get the green and red M&Ms specifically for Christmas so that your turtles will look really festive. But if you want to still use a nut and you don't like pecans, you can always use, I think, walnuts. I think a walnut on top would be a good option too. And I have known someone to put a slice of Granny Smith apple on top. The thing with using a Granny Smith apple is that the moisture in the apple kind of makes the whole turtle a little soggy, but if that's something you want to try out, go for it. This part takes a long time, kind of like unwrapping the Rolos, but I find this part really satisfying. Squishing down all the Rolos, getting that solid squishage. And this recipe is great for if you're short on time, or if you're a beginner baker, or if you're baking with kids. They could help out. It'd be a fun family activity, or a good solo activity. Whatever floats your boat. And the smell of the melted chocolate is also lovely to have in your kitchen. And it's the perfect poppable dessert for a party. And it's a tiny little bite-sized dessert, so we all know you get pretty stuffed at Christmas dinner or at Christmas parties. So it's a perfect little option. Or for yourself if you don't want to share, which no judgment there. Almost missed one. Yeah, be sure to look at your whole pan. The unpecanned ones tend to blend in. Okay, so I have all of our turtles pecanned up, and you could eat them right now if you wanted. And I'm sure if you have a house full of loved ones, they would get eaten very fast. But what I like to do is I like to put them in the fridge and let the Rolo harden and the caramel reharden so that it's nice and chewy. So I'm going to pop these in the fridge for a little bit, and I'll come back and do a taste test with you guys. So I popped our turtles in the fridge for 15 minutes, and you can see they lost a little bit of their shine when we cooled them off in the fridge. So maybe if we cooled them at room temperature and didn't rush it, it would save some of that shine. But either way, they're gonna taste awesome. So let's give these a taste. I'm a big fan of these. It wouldn't be Christmas without turtles for me. The combination of the crunch from the pretzel with the chewiness of the caramel, with the salt and the caramel, you get your salted caramel, and the salt and the sugar, you get your salty sweet. It's as easy as that, guys. Test them out and let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below, and thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you want to see more videos, more Christmas treats coming, please subscribe and hit that bell so that you get notified when I drop the next recipe. Thanks, guys.